Number one, let's start with what happened yesterday because she has gone viral, all right? She's gone viral over hot girls eat Arby's. Yeah. She was wearing this outfit, this arrangement into the Chicago Sky game. Of course, the Indiana Fever, I would like to say beat the brakes off the Sky, but really it felt like they underachieved a good bit yesterday.
When you combine WNBA drama bombs, slogan tee, and curly fries, what do you get? Sophie's Arby's shirt broke the league, according to 800,000 reasons. Yes, it is official. Angel Reese is not happy that ticket sales are being outstripped by fast food merchandise. Has this crossover been the best since Space Jam? This isn't only about meat, so stay put. Someone is undoubtedly salty, and it has to do with roast beef. Now, let's dive into this crispy mayhem.
Sophie Cunningham's t-shirt became a marketing phenomenon. Sophie Cunningham currently plays for the Indiana Fever and has now become one of the most recognizable WNBA players. After Barbie night, she pulled up wearing a shirt that said "Hot Girls Eat Arby's," and the internet lost it. But here's the real backstory. A few months earlier, Sophie posted a video rating Arby's. And that video is just her being authentic in herself. And that puppy went viral.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and give Arby's a solid 9 out of 10.
Then following this, the phrase "hot girls eat Arby's" started flying around. And it turns out that Arby's has been saying this since 2023.
Along the way, the WNBA subtly changed its focus from basketball to whatever it is now. It's no longer even subtle. While the skill, background noise, and drama are required, the sport is optional. You would believe that the shot clock was now timing social media posts rather than plays. In the midst of all this tumultuous pageantry, a beacon appears, breaking the internet like she just developed sliced bread while sporting an Arby's shirt rather than dunk from the free throw line. No one was offended by Sophie. She simply strolled into the league's mind and destroyed it with sincerity and curly fries.
We know somebody that has gotten ridiculously popular this year with the Indiana Fever. I made a prediction that she was going to be the second most popular player on this team by the end of the year. And then, of course, there was the big incident during the Connecticut Sun game. And by the end of that game, she was known as Caitlin Clark's enforcer, right? The one that's got her back. At times, it feels like the only one that's got her back, if I'm being quite honest.
She's not running ISO plays out here. The truth is being isolated by her. Just vibes and viral merchandise, no artificial lashes, fake nails, or fake hair. The rest of the league is occupied with trying to develop brands based on unimpressive beef. As they push out TikToks that resemble reality show auditions, they will force the notion that we need more assistance on everyone. As if it were a casual Wednesday, Sophie simply walks up, tells it how it is, and sells 800,000 t-shirts.
Sophie Cunningham has broken the internet in multiple ways over the last day. All right, the other day, before the Chicago Sky game, this Barbie, and let's be real, let's be honest. If you were going to cast somebody as Barbie, there's a good chance you'd take a long, hard look at Sophie Cunningham.
It feels as though fresh air has been blown in through a window. Reactions were flying like poor throws in the fourth quarter, so it's likely that some eyelashes were ruffled by that same breeze. You see, the league is at a loss for what to do when someone like Sophie becomes popular. She is not like the others. The circle of Instagram clicks does not include her. Having gone 2 for 10, she no longer dances on the court. And she most certainly doesn't depend on staged friendships to maintain her reputation.
Let's talk about Arbys. She is now on the Arbys payroll. Decided that it was a match made in roast beef heaven. Hot girls eat Arbys. No knock on Arbys, Sophie, but if you give Arbys 9 out of 10, I'll take you to Racks. I'll buy you some Racks, and I think you will find that hot girls probably eat Racks. Arbys has a new spokeswoman, and it just so happens to be Sophie Cunningham. Yeah, that's right. Sophie Cunningham, who took to her social media to discuss how much she enjoyed a trip that she made to Arby's, and
She's just there when everyone else is acting, which is why people adore her. No weekly PR strategy meetings, no filters, no extensions. Perhaps that's what supporters are truly hankering after. Basketball players who behave like basketball players, you know. Crazy idea, huh? CC took over the story without permission for the same reason. And like a human lie detector, Aaliyah simply sifts through all the clutter. These women have no intention of being viral. They are simply unintentionally famous. This leads us to an extremely uncomfortable reality that nobody likes to discuss aloud. What are we doing here if the league can't figure out how to turn black women who genuinely ball into superstars? There is talent. It has always existed. However, they continue to prioritize gimmicks above greatness rather than enhancing it. Personalities on TikTok over perseverance. Hairstyles that cover the handles.
700,000 followers overnight. I don't know if you guys knew, she had like 300 or something less than 48 hours ago. Insane. The enforcer has arrived. And she even posted like twice since then, bro. She's totally taken it to a whole new level. Like, Caitlin Clark has a new star. This is like a new star in the WNBA. People ain't gonna like it. People aren't gonna like it. Trace Leches, you know what I'm saying? Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hull, which, by the way, kind of was obsessed with her before she even came along.
They appear to be operating a beauty pageant under the cover of a league. Points and assists are not the stats used to measure visibility. They're who showed up with the longest nails, who uploaded what selfie, and who is squabbling on Twitter. The players who are truly exceptional, who show up, maintain focus, and play real basketball, are marginalized by the soap opera of it all somewhere in that whirlpool of performance art. Wearing a fast food brand, Sophie entered this frenzy and became the league's most talked about person right away. It was because of the stark contrast, not because she pleaded for attention. Furthermore, she didn't even require a glam squad, which made matters worse. All she needed was a grin and a shirt, and the reaction was expected. Suddenly, the same group that called for greater attention became gatekeepers. When the spotlight fell on someone they didn't script, the same people who yell about visibility became incredibly uneasy.
And one thing I like about Sophie is that she's tough. So when Caitlin Clark last week, or not last week, a couple days ago, when Caitlin Clark got destroyed, her girl Sophie came to her defense, and this was the most beast mode thing that I've seen a woman do in WNBA history. Now, Sophie, who's my one of my favorites now, she's become one of my favorite WNBA players. I'm gonna watch her too, like I watch Caitlin. Look at what she did, and people may not say that this was in response or whatever the case may be, but I feel like Sophie is like, you want to play?
Sophie is the embodiment of the curated chaos crew's greatest nightmare. Someone that fans adore without being fake. Here's the twist, though. Sophie isn't the main focus of this. It has to do with her values. A growing need for real-feeling athletes, who don't view the league as a content studio or a catwalk for fashion, who avoid the dramatization, play hard, and maintain their humility. To remain relevant, they don't need to start a feud every other week, and who don't make it painfully clear that their next endorsement is more important to them than their next fight. And perhaps it's time to find out why that makes certain people uneasy. What makes authenticity dangerous? Perhaps it might begin by treating its players with respect, particularly those who are giving their all on the court and expecting little in return. Those who can demonstrate their marketability without doing a TikTok duet. Those who are already relatable and don't need to pretend to be so. Those that attend every practice, every game, and every moment without expecting praise for simply being there.
To the arena yesterday, wearing that. There she is right there. Let's just bring this up. Over at Tater Report. There she is right there. Hot girls eat Arbys. I can only imagine, and I have no idea. I would assume this is some kind of sponsorship with Arbys, right? Right there. I don't know. The roast beef sandwich jokes just sort of write themselves at this point. And just like that, I want a cheddar melt.
Perhaps this explains why athletes like Sophie, Cece, and Aaliyah are attracting a lot of followers. They are genuine, not because they are ostentatious. They pursue victories, but not because they want to be famous. It turns out that the best tale was the one that no one wrote, even in a league that is fixated on stories. Thus, we are witnessing a fast food t-shirt surpass the total influence of the league's previous 3 advertising efforts. Observing that players without gimmicks receive more praise than drama queens who have 3 times the PR spend. For example, Sophie accidentally wore an Arby's shirt number, which resulted to her going viral. This woman didn't stumble and land in a PR lottery. She constructed it. She made a chessboard-like plan. Sophie was calmly playing 4D chess with curly fries while the rest of the league was busily subweeding each other and learning TikTok dances.
I will say that when you are good at basketball, you're pretty, and you got grit, those 3 things make you bad to the bone. And I think this is one of it's new trends that's going on in the WNBA, in my personal opinion, is that not only will you be good at basketball, but you also, some of these women will look like women, right? They used to look like dudes, but now they look like beautiful women that are playing basketball. And one thing I like about Sophie is that she's tough.
She isn't making this up. She is carrying out a plan. She has a purpose for everything she does. The simplicity, the messaging, and the timing. She has the business acumen of a Madison Avenue CEO and the emotional intelligence of a therapist. That Arby shirt was an entertaining, clever, low-effort, high-impact tactic. And it was successful. Because Sophie isn't performing for attention, in contrast to half the league. She's planning it. And let's face it, some people find that upsetting. It truly does, because it dispels the myth that being noisy, untidy, and disorderly is necessary to attract attention. She is a part of something greater, whether she intended it or not. Because this whole attentional shift isn't arbitrary. It isn't a coincidence. The enforcer's presence amplifies the Caitlin Clark effect, and Sophie's ability to ride the wave without drowning in it serves as a catalyst. She's not riding coattails, exactly. Her ability to offer worth rather than noise stems from her understanding of momentum.
Let's take a look, because Arby saw this and decided that it was a match made in roast beef heaven.
Like, not bad.
They weren't dissuaded, obviously, by the little shade that she threw at them there between enjoying her yummy sandwich, saying that she went away, she doesn't have it often for obvious reasons. Well, what are those obvious reasons, Sophie? Anyway, she is now on the Arbys payroll.
She observed the change taking place. Last year, she witnessed Caitlin attract basketball fans who weren't even watching. Like a bouncer at a VIP club, she observed the enforcer drawing attention and distributing receipts. And Sophie found her lane and dominated it rather than attempting to steal the show. Sophie views every moment as a branding lesson, while other players are out there mishandling every media opportunity like it's a loose ball. She doesn't pretend to be someone she's not, which is why it works. The talk loud because of drama box. We might allow you to go viral if you increase your following. However, a person like Sophie didn't wait for approval. When she noticed a void in the market, she entered with a roast beef tea and established her dominance.
If you can see right here, that's Sophie Cunningham. She is the teammate of the year, or at least the Caitlin Clark she is. After Caitlin Clark was pushed to the ground and poked in the eye in the first half of a game against the Phoenix Mercury, she actually late in the game assaulted one of the Phoenix Mercury players in retaliation. And fans loved it. They ate it up. Because look at this. If you look closely, her following on TikTok went from over 300,000, which was great, to almost well over 800,000, probably at 1 million now.
And now for the really bad part. She deserved it. Weld was deserving of all the accolades. This isn't a coincidence. There aren't a lot of unintentional likes. It's sincerity wrapped around strategy. It's not a ploy. It's a game. And the people who have centered their entire image around being the face are now recognizing that they were only the filler episode and not the franchise player. The league isn't sure whether to market or silence Sophie, CC, and the enforcer because, God forbid, a group of women begins to garner fan allegiance without causing a stir. Meanwhile, they're out there changing the course of events. That rather than staged drama and clickbait feuds, fans prefer talent, heart, and genuineness. And that becomes increasingly clear the more women like Sophie rise. Naturally, however, the blowback begins to seep in. Petty whispers, side glances, and subtle jabs that try to minimize the situation, as if she's simply fortunate. Or it's just that Caitlyn drew in new admirers. As if Sophie hadn't taken advantage of the moment with surgical accuracy.
So Caitlyn Clark's teammate Sophie Cunningham's jersey has officially sold out on the Fever website. And this comes the same week as the chippy foul that led to some ejections at the end of the game. It was a bit of a revenge foul taken up for Caitlyn Clark after a hard foul on the other end. And then immediately a petition online from the Caitlyn Clark haters to have Sophie Cunningham removed from the WNBA. They're trying to get folks to sign it. They said what she displayed tonight was disgusting. Yeah, it was a hard foul, but now it has the Caitlyn Clark fans rallying around her, buying up her jerseys to the point they've officially sold out. Fortunately for this petition, I think they just turned Sophie Cunningham into a new WNBA A-list superstar.
As though the league shouldn't be doing that specifically. Leveraging the momentum and transforming it into something sustainable rather than wasting it on yet another marketing plan that appears to have been conceived by a group of bewildered influencers. The irony hurts. The WNBA begged for attention for years. And now that it's really here, thanks to real ones like Sophie and Caitlyn, the enforcer, it doesn't know how to deal with it unless their pre-approved mascots steal the show. However, culture cannot be curated. And since they have been functioning under the premise that women in this league must perform in order to be validated, some people simply cannot handle the mix. The fact that Sophie is out here claiming her value is far more dangerous. People can smell authenticity through the screen, so even though she isn't trying to get attention, it continues finding her. You can't help but notice how phony everything else seems once you see it.
Sophie Cunningham's jersey is going to sell out tonight. The people have been waiting for this. If the refs are not going to do their job, the players are going to have to be the enforcers themselves. This game was chippy from the beginning, and the refs did not do their job.
She should be given special treatment by the league, which should use her as a case study. This is how to interact with fans. Here's how to intentionally market. Here's how to develop a brand without causing rifts. Instead of admitting that she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers on a broken table, they act as though she simply won the lotto by accident. The fans aren't naive either. They observe it. They understand Sophie's appeal. Why she feels like a welcome change in a league that is choking its own story. Their money are open, they're outspoken in their support, and they have no desire to return to the phony drama machine that the league has been attempting to peddle for years. Sophie is gently dominating the merch game, earning fans with every word, and redefining what a superstar in this league genuinely looks like, while everyone else tries to stay relevant with shouty sound bites and contrived rivalries. Just skill, intelligence, and the courage to be herself. No drama, no outbursts.